right. The day has finally come. What? Yeah. Torje is ready to go.
He's ready.
He's so ready.
Yo, we love that though. We love the ready to just come in and blast. We love that.
From 100, we're counting down twice now. What is this?
Yeah, we're counting down from 100.
I get 300 while we're at it.
All right. Well, I don't have too much to say. This is the finals. You guys know that. This is a best of 5, Torje versus Chromiiii, and clearly we are eager to get ready and go and do this. So let's do it.
All right.
Let me get on 5.
Very, very true. I'll do the countdown for this one because I've been doing it this entire time, and
You're the countdown guy.
I am the countdown guy.
Countdown guy.
All right, let me know when both runners are ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Gary is ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to count down from 3, and on go, you can go. 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, have fun.
Luck.
All right. So we are off. Pretty good sync out this time around, which is very nice.
Having the sync is always nice. But yeah, I mean, we have Torje on the left, who is the 1 seed in this tournament, and Chromiiii on the right, who is the 7 seed in this tournament, beating a lot of the tougher opponents in this tournament, the 2 seed Darker and the 3 seed Baker in order to get here. Torje, having a path here as well to get to the finals. Both racers, showing a lot of perseverance, consistency, skill, and just the desire to advance in this tournament and to ultimately win it from both of these runners. And both of them have earned the right to be here and deserve to be here in these best of 5 finals on this Sunday to conclude this tournament.
Yeah, very true. I think Chromiiii has now earned the title of Chromium the Upsetter Light. So we are big gaming when it comes to that. This has been a really interesting tournament to watch for Chromiiii fans, because Chromiiii has just done upset after upset, as a 7th seed, just kind of just going with the flow, just really showing that they want to prove that anybody can do anything in a tournament setting like this, regardless of what any preconceptions people might have of difference in strategy or whatever. Just as long as you show up and you show up to show out, you can do it, and that's pretty good so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think best of 3 is not a ton of matches, so I mean, if I think Baker in that semifinal ran into issues that you wouldn't expect Baker to run into, but if you happen to do that in back-to-back games, then you're out of the tournament. So things can happen like that so quickly, and unexpected things and upsets have happened in these Defeat Ganon tournaments, and it always surprises people. I remember someone telling me when I first had when we were first sort of getting going with these Defeat Ganon tournaments, someone said oh well, the best players always win. The 1 seed always wins in gaming tournaments, and it, time and time again in these tournaments, that statement has been proven wrong. And yes, generally the best players do win, but in terms of expecting matchups and predictions, it's hard to do that because there's just so many variables, especially in the Defeat Ganon race with this rule set, I think.
Yeah, is my mic okay, by the way?
Yeah, your mic's good.
Okay. Let me know if it starts doing that again, because I might take this outside and smash it with a hammer.
Yeah, no worries.
So, yeah, no, I mean, this is a different style of tournament, right? I feel like in speedrunning, literally anything can happen. If this was a fighting game, like Melee or Tekken or whatever, and the idea was that Torje is like a Tekken god, and Chromiiii is a unranked or like really low rank in this setting, then yeah, I mean, you could say that theoretically Torje could never lose because you know how to like punish like really dumb mistakes, right?
Oh,
Ooh, Torje having a little bit of a weird time there.
he's good
But
though.
this isn't a fighting game. Like this isn't
Right.
like a you can punish your opponent for their mistakes. This is like you just have to kind of play to your game and play it well. Which like theoretically you could do that in a fighting game. But I mean more so in this case, like you really just have to hope for the best on your end and essentially like in some cases you just have to hope for the worst on your opponent's end.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what's interesting about speedrunning tournaments, in my opinion, is that, you know, regardless of where anybody's skill is at in a matchup, it can always end up being a tragedy if somebody like has a really bad like happening occur, I guess.
hmm Yeah, I mean, yesterday we saw Baker, break his stick in a swordless route, and just no coming back from that. It doesn't matter who you are. There's really no way to finish the game. Um, but something that we've seen from Chromie, an area of time loss we've seen consistently in his runs, or in their runs, sorry, has been the first part, namely the west of Kakariko has been very, very tough for them, and we saw them, I think, get it like second try, but making time of day, so it's a really good thing. Although they're behind here, playing consistently and keeping up with Torje's pace so far.
Yeah, so far Chromiiii is only, I'd say, like 30 to 40 seconds behind,
It's
something
about
like
the
that,
best you
right?
can hope for in terms of the swordless versus sword, in terms of this first part. Having a little trouble with these last few Kakos here, though.
Yeah, very true. Only being a few seconds, like hoping for only being a few seconds behind somebody that is doing the swordless route is the most that you could hope for when you're playing sword route. You know, but the difference between these two routes, in terms of a tournament setting, is that the Torje getting might have skipped first try, very nicely done from Torje. The difference with the swordless route is that it is much more high risk, and I'd say like a medium reward for what it gives, but it does have a lot more pain points in the run. Like something could go wrong,
Right.
versus sword. Like sword, you could recover a lot of things. So, we're hoping for the best on Chromie's end here. And I guess if you're rooting for Chromie, you really want to see Torje make some mistakes in this Deku Tree, because Torje is known for having very clean Deku Trees, just all around the board, regardless of category. I mean, this is the place where Torje has spent the most time in throughout the years, right? So,
Yeah, certainly Kokiri Forest and Deku Tree, for sure. Be interesting to watch to see if and when Torj does a safety save. Because I've actually seen Torj, if there's like one thing that they've maybe stumbled at, they've had like a little bit of sort of, I would call them stutters at wrong warp, just sort of not backflipping on the hump, and it hasn't happened a lot, but it's been one of the small things I've noticed in terms of a negative in terms of analyzing Torch's gameplay, which there aren't many, but it could be one of the ways that Chromie could pull off an upset here would be if Torj doesn't safety save and then somehow messes up wrong warp. Now the thing is, it's really difficult, right? Because that can happen, and then you take one match, but this is a best of 5. So, to sort of hope on that kind of thing happening, more than once, it's tough. I don't know. I think Chromie really, although they've been very consistent and played very well in this tournament, in order to actually come through with a win, you know, something different, some different kind of approach or different kind of mindset, whether it be more consistency with Void Warp or just slightly better movement all around. Um, just need to be in that second gear today.
Yeah. We need to unlock our Gear 5 for this.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers, but we need to unlock our Gear 5. I haven't even seen One Piece, so I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good. Both runners, though, just moving on along here. Chromie getting some resources before Scrubs, but here now, like I said, you know, Torje so far hasn't made any mistakes. It's really going to be the second half of the run where Chromie needs to look to pull ahead here. So Chromie needs to, you know, take damage from these Scrubs here quickly and continue to move on. And really has to be flawless from Chromie here in order to come back.
You know, the unfortunate part is that taking damage from these Scrubs is actually just slower than taking damage from Goma, which is something that I'm not sure Chromie is aware of, but or maybe they are and are just uncomfortable with the idea of taking damage from Goma and then recovering the fight. I totally get that as well. It's just when you're in a situation where you have to, like, the idea is to take a game off of Torje or to take a set off of Torje. You really gotta kind of try and break out of the shell a little bit, and I guess
Right.
like in this case you wouldn't go for like the extra resources, you wouldn't go for like, I guess you would try to take damage from Goma instead in this situation. Ooh, not getting the jump slash into Goma as they were hoping for. That can happen sometimes. I wonder how Chromie
Torje?
deals with these little Gomalings here. If they just throw a nut or use the shield. It looks like they're just gonna throw a nut. They did grab extra resources. Probably just gonna use the shield here. Nice. Not walking
Torje
up to a
also
target. It's scary.
getting the double KO. Just wanted to mention Torje also just kind of having a flawless run in this first match. He's like 7 seconds ahead of his PB with this rule set. So let's see if he hits this insta clip. That's the clip frame, but it didn't work. So Void Warp it will be, and not a PB this time.
Not going for the 8%er. What has happened to Torch? Playing to win today. Massive Torch moment.
Ooh, targeting Zelda like really early there, but it doesn't matter. I don't understand. I'm just gonna shut up.
Hopefully my mic isn't clipping again. It kind of looks like it is. Is it?
I think you're good. I haven't noticed anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you know, no really, you know, except for Instaclip, I'm not even sure you can really consider that a mistake. Other than that, pretty much a perfect race for Torje.
Yeah, I mean, it is as good as you could hope for in the event of missing, I guess, rather the clip frame or, you know, unfortunately the angle at which you're supposed to ESS. Yeah, getting the kiss, I mean, Tor's just trying to make quick work here is what it's looking like. Bro wants to go back to playing Marvel Rivals really badly. Wow, that is a terrible cutscene. Oh my goodness.
I'd love to see Chromie just go for Instaclip here.
The one try. Excuse me. The one try for Instaclip. We'd love to see it.
I would love to at least see Chromie hit like a clean Void Warp and you know, really finish this race strong.
Oh no, I think they definitely can.
Because I think that still, you have, you know, after a race like this, you have a little bit of a dip in confidence just noticing how fast your opponent is and how clean they played in the first match. But also, if you can finish the race, you know, if you finish and, you know, it's a good race and you know, you've done most of what you believe you can do, that's a confidence boost. So it sort of cancels that out. You know, if you just get crushed and you fail to finish, it's a different approach when you go into that second match.
Yeah, finishing strong is definitely a big confidence booster. Regardless if you got like if you didn't win the match, having like a strong finish, like making it close in whatever way you can is always a really good way to like just boost your confidence, so that you can reflect on the other things that you might not have done so great, but be like, okay, so I did good here. What can I do differently in this position to try and make something happen? Chromie, unfortunately, getting the wrong frame or just dropping ESS. I couldn't tell which it was. I believe it was just dropping the SS there, and opting to walk down the tower. This is definitely going to end up in Torje's favor, because Torje is already at the second phase of Ganon, and Chromie still has to walk down the tower. So, you know, we've seen a lot of crazy things happen in this tournament so far, but I don't know if Torje is going to die to Ganon, so I'm not going to bank on that one. Torje showing just the masterful movement under Ganon here, just barely making any movements underneath Ganon, other than just to shimmy the stick hitbox for the good ISG hits.
I believe this is this gonna be the run of the tournament? Is this
No, this is like a 16-25. He's got a 16-19 before. Or wait, no, it's not. It's not gonna be a 25. It's like a.
Yeah, you sure about that?
It's like a 20. It's like tied. It's like tied.
Yeah.
Literally tied with his fastest. I forgot this like cutscene isn't as long as I normally think it is. It's like only 22 seconds.
All
Yeah,
right.
GG's to Torje in this first race. Fast we diff. You know, if you saw that cutscene earlier, you would know that it's not the fast we this time around, because that is not the cutscene RNG we're used to seeing from Torje. You know, I wish I knew more lore about the fast Wii, but like from my understanding, Skater just seemed to be really upset that it looked like Torje was just having a faster collapse cutscene. If I'm not mistaken, it seemed like there was a time where Skater was like, "How is Torje having just overall faster collapse cutscenes than me?"
Sounds like a skill issue, I guess. I don't know. Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, overclock the Wii. Yeah, Torje actually owns the Coca-Cola bear, and has him cool down the Wii. Yeah, that's actually an interesting point. If Tassers know about the like difference in the collapse cutscene, how do they manipulate the cutscene RNG? Like, is there any way to manipulate the cutscene RNG in a TAS? because they have to like do a whole entire playback. So how do they manipulate it to be really fast?
I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was afraid that was gonna be the answer, Torj. Like that's. Can you imagine recording that part of the task? Like just sitting there and hoping you get a good one.
Do they just splice together the segments, or do they actually like do an entire full playback?
Yeah, are there?
Can't splice and
Yeah,
test,
I
so
was
they have
about
to
to
just
ask.
repeat it.
So there are like rules in a task of like what you can and can't do. Interesting.
Just load the state before the cutscene and do different inputs. That's ridiculous. All right. Daily Haley plug.
Yeah, should we ban this guy? No, I'm just kidding. Kidding. Alright, Chromiii's gonna finish up again for you.
You know, kind of off topic here, but you know, for the longest time growing up, I didn't know that sayonara was a Japanese word. Did you know that, Thunder?
Yes, I did know that.
Like, even like as a young person, just like when people said sayonara, like you already knew.
I didn't know when I was like a child, but when I was in like high school, I think I probably knew, yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know for a while
I mean, I
until
think I
I started
eventually asked
thinking about
myself
it.
the question, like, why am I saying this? Or I don't think I've said sayonara that much in my life, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not something that even Japanese people say that often. Because if you say that, then you intend on never seeing somebody again. Chromie finishing with a 21-17.
21-17.
Wait, you wish you're what?
I was gonna crack a joke, but the time has passed.
I mean, we got a couple seconds, right?
Nah, we're good. We're good.
Oh, he
Time
really
for the next race.
folded. Thunder folding on comms.
I'm cooked, bro.
GG.
Jeej.
GG's. GG's.
Yeah, I think I also thought it was Spanish as well, Phoenix. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, while we're waiting for Torch to undeafen Chromie, did you know that sayonara was a Japanese word, like originally, like when
Yeah.
you were younger?
I've known it probably since I was 8 years old, 9 years old.
Yeah, see, like when I was younger, I didn't know where it was from. I just thought it was like a word, like you know, like when people talk about like what's a common French word that we use in English? I don't know.
Stereotype baguette, but that's not. It's more just a type of bread than real free.
Yeah, bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, I mean, some people say c'est la vie. Yo, Enya Squad. Shout out Enya Squad.
Oh, sorry. I'm just being quiet.
You're good. All right.
No, I'm just being quiet. My voice kind of hurts today.
Understandable. Torch, you ready?
Yep.
Congratulations on taking the first race as well.
I think that was the fastest of the tourney as well. I think my other one was a 16-19. That was an 18.
Was it? Okay, yeah, nice. Very
So
nice.
I was on PB pace at collapse. I don't know what I did wrong in this clip.
Yeah, it looked like you I think you just had like the wrong target angle, like for the clip.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking though. Like, cause like I couldn't like think of anything else that went wrong there. It was like everything looked
Yeah.
fine.
I know that was. I know the target frame at the bottom was fine though. So I don't know what I messed up with my Zelda targets.
Yeah, it has to be Zelda target then.
Anyway.
All right. Well, I'm gonna count down again from 3, and I'll go. You guys can start. All right,
Yep.
3,
All right.
2, 1, go. Good luck. Have fun.
Yep.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Later.
All right. Game 2. Off and running.
Very nice.
Oh, Torje with a little hiccup there on the house, but covering. We'll see. I wonder if there's even going to be a match in this series. Excuse me. Where Torje actually like gives Chromiiii a chance, right? Like opens a window for Chromiiii to make something happen, right? Like, will Torje actually stumble? You know, will they have issues with collapse? Will they have issues with wrong warp? Because if they record 16, 17-minute races, you know, no disrespect to Chromiiii, but that's just a little bit outside their zone in terms of runs, in terms of, you know, PB potential. So I just wonder if we do see Torje stumble and we see Chromiiii take that opportunity to make this a really interesting series.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's sort of similar to what we were saying with the Race versus Baker. You know, to see a David v Goliath moment is always entertaining, regardless of the context. I guess as long as the context isn't good fun. You know, so I think it would be interesting to see at least one race go to Chromie's favor. Although I don't know if Torje is going to allow that. I think Torje, like I said earlier, this might be a meme, it might not be a meme. I think Torje really wants to play Marvel Rivals. So we're going to see what Torje does. You know, see if Torje really just wants to make quick work here, or if you know, Torje is just here to play the game and chill out and vibe. Yeah. This is actually a best of 5, this last one, so it does give Chromiiii an extra opportunity that they might not have had in previous rounds of the tournament.
I was watching Torje's feed very closely. They missed the they had issues getting up onto the ledge for the red rupee, but backed it up. That can, you know, if Torje ran into an issue with time of day, that would be huge, but avoiding that here.
Yeah, that's true. Luckily getting a first try backup.
It's going to be interesting also to watch Chromiiii. Do West Escape. Especially because, oh no, and this is not good. Because they're going for the slower... I don't know if they forgot to grab the ledge or if they were initially going for this method to get the red rupee. But that's going to cost them a lot of time of day. So you're really looking at, you kind of have to hit not West Escape. You kind of have to hit the West to Kakariko first try here if you're Chromiiii in order to have hopes of saving time of day. Because it's getting dark already.
Yeah, I hope they go for the instant jump slash. Not looking like they do,
Nice.
but they do get the jump slash the West first try. You love to see
Chromiiii
that.
had to hit that right there. Had to hit that right there in order to
They
keep
still
this
might not even
reasonable.
make it.
No, they're good. They're in there.
Oh, they're okay. Very, very close. Thankfully able to get that West there with the first try.
Yeah, that was clutch, for sure. Torje is cruising, though. Torje is already on the last 3 Cuckos. It's tough. I mean, so far, you know, no mistakes from Torje. He came in here, not exact, like, I don't know. Torje is usually a pretty laid-back guy, but he came in here and was, like, so like amped and ready to go for this series, and started his timer preemptively, like fired up and ready to go, and we're seeing that in the execution so far. A lot of focus clearly here.
Yeah, I think something that happens a lot with Torje, I guess, I mean Torje and Baker, I guess, because this is sort of where I'm going with this, is that when either of them are playing the game, both of them are playing the game. So, you know, I feel like Torje is really trying to make up for, I guess, in the event that, you know, good old buddy Baker getting knocked out to some unfortunate circumstances. You know, maybe Torch is looking for some vengeance on that. Chromie dropping the
Yeah, it was
Coco.
a good save. That was a good
Yeah.
save by Chromiiii, actually.
Really good. Super sketchy, but somehow making it work. That, I mean, I wouldn't even have thought of that. So that's godlike.
Yeah, the
You love to
Coco's
see
gonna
it.
be behind the well a little bit, but it's better than, you know, dropping down there, because then you're losing so much time.
Bonk for good luck. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, Phoenix. Because if you would have put money on that, you would have been down money, which is
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, the initial predictions for the top four, just based off of how the runs were going from the start, was going to be like Torje, Baker, Habel, Darker. And then we saw an upset from Zeru against Habel, and then another upset from Chromie versus. Who did they upset initially? I'm sorry. I
Chromie
forgot.
beat Darker and then Baker.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, just Chromie earning the title of upsetter this tournament. I mean, really just so far, nothing has gone as expected. And I kind of love that. There's the frame. Yeah, massive props to Chromie for, like we said, like just showing up and showing out. We love to see that. But yeah, I guess more to my point, regardless of it, other than just like, you know, two friends playing the game to, you know, compete against each other. You know, I think whenever the two of them, Torj and Baker, I mean, are playing this game together, they get really competitive with just like, you know, trying to like push something together for the fun of it. So, you
Right.
know, I feel like that's causing Torch to be a little bit more fired up. Same thing, you know, with Baker. Baker doing a lot of runs recently. You know, trying to push down the time and go for a really fast time on VC. So
Yeah, I mean, it's always more fun when there's a lot of competition, you know? I mean, I think about Defeat Ganon in its prime, and
wow,
it was such an
custom boost.
exciting time to run the game, because you really had so many people at all levels of skill playing Defeat Ganon. And you didn't have to search for people to compete against, because just up and down the leaderboard there was consistency in terms of the activity. And so it was just such a you know, just that whole leaderboard was such a battleground for the longest time.
Yeah,
I think it would
I
be
mean,
great if we could somehow have like a category extension space for different versions of this category that we've seen in the past. I think that would be really cool.
yeah, that would be a cool way to sort of extend like the life of this category that we all know and love.
I wouldn't even say to extend the life. I would say like reignite it, you know? Like just
Yeah,
to
that's true.
I think it would be really good for the game. I think it's something that like I don't know who wouldn't want that. I mean, I certainly know a lot of people who do want that. So, you
Mhm.
know, if I think it could potentially, right? I mean, you certainly have a lot of people who are going to want to run, you know, a route similar to this one, a lot of beginners especially. You'll have a lot of people who want to come back to the game, you know, people, you know, like Torje who played in the past, and maybe don't play a lot right now. And then, you know, I think giving options, maybe tabs in that category extension, it feels like more freedom. And I don't know. I'm obviously biased because I have a huge history with Defeat Ganon as a category, and it's honestly one of, you know, obviously, like, it's sort of the category that I've mained, so I'm biased, but I think it'd be really cool. Torje going for wrong warp here. Ooh, a little weird in the corner of the door there, but that's not an issue. Rolling through the middle, giving everyone a heart attack as usual. Yo, Space Junked in the chat. Hello, hello. I just got word that my commentary partner's internet died. So I'll be solo with you guys for a little bit. Hope nobody minds that. But yeah, so anyways, if you're just joining us, this is the finals. It is a best of 5. The matchup is Torje, who is the 1 seed in this tournament. Went 2-1 in the group stage and posted really, really good times in each race. And a fun fact about this tournament, which I believe is true, is I think the only person to beat Torje in a head-to-head so far this tournament was Chromiiii, who now faces them in the finals. Chromiiii, the 7 seed, really overcoming all odds in this tournament, beating the 2 seed Darker in the first round and the 3 seed Baker in the semis. But Torje proving to be a handful in this finals. Hitting Instaclip seemingly with ease. And we saw in the first race, Torje posted a 16-19, which just seems to be a little bit outside of what Chromiiii can put up here. So, you know, Torje just playing really, really well in these finals, not giving Chromiiii any room to really to come back, as Chromiiii unfortunately going into the blue warp there and making this race unfortunately even more out of reach.
Any backup commentators?
Oh, it looks like
Oh,
my internet is back now, so
I'll be heading out.
Can we get this guy out of here? No, I'm just kidding. He's out of here. That's
Thanks
funny.
for,
shout out to Pripsy for being on standby as a backup commentator.
I mean,
but welcome back.
I'm here
Cypress.
too, so
That's true. We need you on the restream though, Dan.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna mute.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, but it's
no,
good.
it's I'm sorry about that. My
Nah, you're
internet
good.
decided
You're
to die itself. So, yeah, no, we're good. We're chilling. What happened with Torje?
Torje just continuing to play super well. Torje hit Instaclip. It's really the same story. Chromiiii unfortunately failing wrong warp. So it's looking similar to game 1. Although Chromiiii with a little bit of a larger mistake this race that really is going to cost them, I think.
Yeah, it really seems unfortunate because, you know, once you're already down, you know, having something like that happen is extremely unfortunate and not great for the mental game part of this.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, you know, again, Torje is, you know, when you're talking about Ganon fights and you're talking about the amount of times that someone has fought this boss in this manner, there's not really a lot of people better. But you know, interestingly, in these tournaments, you run into things that you may not consider in PB attempts. I don't know. Is
Hmm.
Torje is laughing a lot right now? Maybe he's a little bit too relaxed. I don't know. You know, I don't think that he's going to run into any issues here, but you know, these are just things to consider. Being, you know, up a lot in this race, Chromie just now getting into Ganon's tower, going to attempt Void Warp. Um, you know, just important for Torje to keep his focus.
Yeah, this is true. I think, you know, we might be procking some laughter from Torj with the chat about Marvel rifles a little bit. So I think we might be doing it to him unintentionally. Um, so, but I mean, yeah. So far, Torch getting the backflip on Ganon, just like showing just really consistent gameplay on. I mean, the fight, like the Ganon fight in general. You know, you love to see it. I do think what is good about Chromie in this tournament, from what I've seen, is that it looks like Chromie just doesn't give up. Like at least like
Oh
from what
yeah.
I've seen, regardless of if they are down or not, they will just keep going, and that is a very commendable thing to have. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, as a viewer, as a commentator, as an enjoyer of speedrunning in this game, it is really, really frustrating and also sad to see when people just forfeit or concede, because anything can happen, and regardless of if you weren't on top of your game, we still want to see you finish strong. Unfortunately, Chromie hessing into Zelda, not getting the angle change to fix it. They might just... Are they jumping? Yeah, it looks like they're going to jump to reset it. Wow, 15:58 from Torch, the fastest run of the tournament.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
actually...
worth pointing that out. 1558, I believe. I believe the record for this rule set is what, 1519, right? I believe. I believe that's the
Um,
1807 equivalent. Am I
yeah, that would
wrong?
be... Yeah, that would be
Can we
the...
get some
Or
confirmation? I think it's 1519 is like the time to beat.
is my mic doing the thing again?
No, I don't think so. Um, but yeah, I also don't want to lose sight of what we were mentioning about Chromie. Chromie's been in some really intense matches, pretty much beaten everyone in this tournament. You know, I think did Chromie go 3-0 in the group stage? I believe they did. I think they had the best record in the group stage. Like, they found a way to win, right? And that's been sort of um that's been the mindset of Chromie in this tournament, just finding a way to win, you know, getting the 7 seed, but purely because it was based on average times. If this was
Mm.
based on wins and losses in the group stage, Chromie would be a much, much higher seed. So, you know, it's the consistency and it's that fighting spirit, that perseverance, to not give up, and to, you know what, even though my opponent's going in the Ganon fight and all they have to do is get ISG and kill Ganon, I'm still gonna, you know, even if I'm maybe at the top of the tower, I'm still gonna go for Void War, because you never know. We had
Hmm.
that race. What was that race in the group stage? Was it Habel and Zeru or Chromie and Zeru, where we had 2 Ganon deaths in the same race? You know, it's things like that where, you know, that make you realize that it's so important to just keep going no matter what.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important to have, like you said, that fighting spirit just to continue, because I mean, it one of the worst parts of competing in rather any tournament really, but like especially in a speedrun tournament where it's all just like we're doing this for fun, to showcase the beautiful game that we all love, and you know, people sort of just concede based off of opponent. Sometimes, you know, I've seen it happen, where it's like, oh, you know, I'm racing against Torge, or I'm racing against Baker, or you know, whoever it might be, and it's like, well, I have no chance of winning, so it doesn't matter what I do. Like, that is always like the most unfortunate thing to see slash hear, because you know, anything could really happen. And as much as, you know, some people hold, you know, Torge and other players to a really high standard because of their like known capability, you know, you also don't know what can happen, and these people are also human, as sometimes it might not seem, with their inhuman capabilities of extreme consistency and sometimes godlike use of strategy. So, everybody participating in this has always got a chance. They just have to have the right mindset, the right outlook, and Chromie so far showing that they have a really good mindset when it comes to just finishing and showing that, like, as long as I play to my strengths, I just have to hope for me to do my best, and whatever happens happens. And they have done that all the way up to this point, and still to this point. And that's what we love to see. I mean, it really is something I'm grateful to see from Chromie. So big shout outs.
Tell you, in any kind of, whether it's gaming, whether it's athletics, there's a different kind of element that comes into the mental aspect of it in a championship, or if you're facing an opponent where you're going, oh snap, like I need to. It becomes not just going by the plan anymore, because for most games, or how you would approach like an exhibition match, you go about your plan. But when you're facing a really, really tough opponent, when you're in a championship, it's not just about that. It's about, all right, if I go by the plan, you know, it might not be enough. It's about unlocking that extra gear, right? And we talked about that for Chromie, but the point that I'm getting to is to tell yourself, to convince yourself that you need to access that gear versus sort of just going by the plan. It's difficult. It's really hard, and there are a select people in this world who can do that, who can have that mindset shift and say, all right, I got to get this done.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a cringe comparison, but Blue Lock really talks about that a lot as like a part of its whole trope within the show. But I mean, I'm just gonna say from like personal experience, uh, when it comes to competing in any sort of tournament setting or anything competitive, facing an opponent that seems like an insurmountable obstacle can really do something to you in one way or another. It's rather going to destroy your ego, or it's going to unlock an entire new you that you haven't seen before. And that is always the most interesting part about stuff like this, because I feel like competition just breeds like new things. I don't know necessarily how to say it, but when other people are pushing themselves to the limit and you have the opportunity to compete against them, it really puts you in an entire like new world, like a real focus state, like a flow state, I believe is what they call it. So like, just getting back to that, or I guess more so unlocking that, is something that most people strive to do. And once you're there, you don't really realize it until afterwards, right? So that's the kind of thing that is honestly crazy about competitive gaming, or just like competition in general. To be honest, it is one of the most thrilling things to experience. Chromie dying
Lucky.
again, and extremely unfortunate. Yeah, bring out the best in each other, 100%.
It is really interesting though to see the parallel between like different different competitions, right? Like the similarities between like sports and like playing Zelda. Two things that are like so different, and like you wouldn't initially think that they have similarities, but depending on how you approach those things and play them, like maybe there are.
GG.
All right, GG's to both runners. Time to get ready for game 3.
Chromie, is that your first DNF?
That is my first. There was a lot of firsts in this one. My first failed wrong warp. My first.
Oof.
My first death cannon. And DNF, yeah. It's whatever. It's not a big deal.
Very true. Anything can happen. So let's play out the last game or the last couple games. We'll see what happens. We're hoping for the best. Either way, I'm going to start the countdown from 3 and on go. You guys can start.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go. Good luck. Have fun.
Good luck.
All right, we are off in this game 3. This is potentially it. Torje has a chance here to end the tournament and be the victor. But we'll see what Chromiiii has to say about that. You know, Chromiiii has certainly pulled off you know, a lot of incredible things in this tournament, and it would certainly be unfair and unwise to count them out at this stage.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Torje so far playing out of his mind when it comes to the first and second run, just being like, what was it, like a 16-18 and then a 15-58. Like, so far, nobody in this
Right.
tournament has been able to compete with that. I mean,
Right.
so
That's important to note is you know, with Torje posting those times, right, it almost doesn't matter, which is unfortunate. I mean, you know, it's unfortunate, but it's also, you know, insane to witness this level of play in the finals. I mean, we've seen the 2 best runs of the tournament in the first 2 matches of the finals. And, you know, maybe that's not something you would expect because, you know, perhaps in the group stage would be a better time to full send strats, and then in the playoffs you might think, oh, well, now I'll play a little bit safer and hone those strats. But for Torje, it's just speed and consistency, and there's nothing that wavers in what he does. It's all calculated. You know, every roll, every side hop is done for a reason, and it's done every single run. It's done the same way, and it's done correctly. And it's just hard to compete against that, you know? It's just hard to compete against that. And it's so difficult to stay focused when you know your opponent is already almost, you know, impossible to beat. You know, how to stay focused and how to remain composed in a series like this, knowing that you have to fight against really, really tough odds here. Do we have a cat on camera? We have a cat cam for Chromiiii?
meow. Ooh. A little close for comfort there on that red rupee. Seems like Chromiiii always ends up going a little bit like out of the middle, I guess. But I mean, I guess you could almost say that was optimal position, so they're closer. Still a little scary always.
Chromiiii getting the West of Kakariko. Missing the first time, but getting the second recoil. They shouldn't have any issues with time of day here. Torje collecting Cuckos. Torje just seems very comfortable right now. You know, laughing at Ganon. Just seems very comfortable with the situation, and that's a scary version of Torje.
Yeah.
I think that if Chromiiii had come out here and, you know, played perfectly that first game, taken that first game somehow, made Torje sweat a little bit, I don't know, maybe this series goes differently. But as of right now, you know, a Torje that's feeling very relaxed but also locked in, just tough to compete against, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this is also kind of just Torje's character when it comes to, you know,
Yeah,
speedrunning. Torje is always able to, you know, laugh at himself and just kind of have fun with the game at times. I mean, also, you've seen the pits of despair sometimes when resetting on Gim for hours on end.
and then finally getting a run and then resetting to insta-clip. I mean, like, you've seen it hundreds of times from Torje. But I mean, you can see, like, just Torje just having a good time. You love to see that. But yeah, I guess it does make a statement for just like the comfortability with the game and just the ability to lock in on certain things and just kind of show off a little bit with some strats. I mean, Torje is in fact so comfortable, it seems, that he's sometimes when he has the opportunity to, he's just doing the backflip for the Deku Scrubs to hit the nut into the Deku Scrub. So like, yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't talk about Nulf. We don't talk about Nulf. That didn't happen. That was never a strategy. You are from a different dimension if Nulf is on your mind.
We should do a tournament with 2015 game. That'd be fun.
Well, I think you had it right the first time, because if we did a tournament with 2015 game, it would be a cornament, because it would be a corny way to do a tournament for Ocarina of Time.
Tournament is such a good word that we just mistakenly happened upon. If there's some kind of corn eating championship out there, it's a cornament.
That's true. It is not who is Nulf, it is what is Nulf, and it's NOLF, and that is an acronym for something I'm not going to say. I'm going to leave the interpretation up to you. If you know how the game works, then you know why it's called that, and I am not going to explain any further. I'm sorry.
Chromiiii is not too far behind here. Chromiiii getting shield, as you would with Sword Route.
Yeah.
And Torje talking to the Deku Tree, so not too far behind, you know, perhaps 45 seconds to a minute, perhaps more like a minute.
You know, it's funny to know that the Deku Tree in both, at least English and Japanese, definitely talks like a massive old head. So you love to take note of stuff like that. Just the difference in localization. I mean, sometimes localization in games can really throw off the feeling of a certain. Ooh, Torje breaking his stick. I don't know how he's gonna deal with that. Laughing at it too. He's just gonna reset. He's got to do Mido skip again. What can you do? This is giving way for Chromiiii to have a way to catch up. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, Chromiii's already ahead. So, yeah,
It's good we're having fun. It's good that Torje is able to laugh that off, and we're not taking this totally serious. Obviously, there are tensions in the finals, but I'm glad that at the end of the day we can recognize that we're here to have fun.
script is kicking in. Yeah.
The 3-0 comeback. The 3 in a row. Could it be done? So Chromiiii in the lead here. Chromiiii has now pulled into the lead for the first time in these finals. We'll see if the consistency that Chromiiii has displayed in this tournament can show here. And perhaps, can they take a game, although getting hit off the wall by the Waltilla there. Chromiiii had a lot of difficulty in one of the matches versus Baker in the semifinals with this wall. A lot of issues with this wall. Still able to pull through that series and win that series despite those issues. But climbing up the wall without too many issues and doing a variation of breaking that web. Going to do B1 skip from the bottom, pause buffering on the correct frame to hold up.
Yeah, it seems like that's what Chromiiii was doing before, but they were having some trouble with it last time, so they opted to change their strategy this time around. But luckily, this time they got it with relative ease. I actually still don't know why Chromiiii is burning this web here. Because they don't even need to, right? So, oh no, I believe they do because they do double KO.
Right, to come back down.
Yeah, that's right. That makes sense.
It's easy to forget like some of the subtle differences between the routes, and you're watching different routes all the time with this tournament, so it's hard to keep track sometimes.
Yeah. Double KO is essentially, if you look at Chromii's health right now, Chromie has half a heart. So when Chromie kills Goma here, they are going to like do one crouch stab, one power crouch stab, throw another power crouch stab, and then immediately jump slash. And on the jump slash, they will take damage and deal damage to Goma, essentially killing them and Goma at the same time, which will spawn them at the front of the Deku Tree, so that you can actually exit the room, because otherwise you can't wrong warp without doing Goma clip. So right there you can see Chromie's health going to 0, Goma dying in at the same time, and they will end up at the top of the Deku Tree after this. Yeah, you need to burn the web, exactly, because on the first time that you, like Dan said, on the first time that you re-enter, or sorry, the first time that you enter B1, the web isn't fully loaded, like, or something like that, and you can just kind of backwalk and grab the ledge, which is kind of weird, but it's a thing. So there's that, and the second time around, you would have to burn it. So Chromie just opting to do it on the first go essentially save some time the second time around.
Potentially, this is where this match could get really close, though, because if Torje does a clean Goma clip, hits that frame like that, and now just does like a one pause Goma clip, they're gonna be
looking like he was still holding back.
Oh, did Torje have an input issue?
Ooh.
And now shuffling, looking a little bit uncomfortable. Going to have to wait.
Yeah, until the
Going to
8th
have to wait
hit.
now.
It's really weird how intricate this trick is, because if you can do the first 2, but if you fail the first 2, then you have to wait till the 8th for whatever reason. The pause was late on the first one.
Chromie doing wrong warp now.
Okay.
Oh no, Chromie. That should be okay though. That should be fine, I think. And Chromie is in.
Yeah, the only time where anything sketchy can happen past, or like during wrong warp when you're past the gap, is if you untarget. That's the only way something weird can happen. You could wait there for like ever. As long as you don't let go of target, you're totally fine.
Chromie really needs to hit Void Warp here. I think, with the consistency of Instaclip we've seen from Torje, as well as Void Warp, it's just not something that, Chromie can bank on just going down the tower and hoping that Torje screws up. I think I think they need to really hit Void Warp here in order for this to, in order for them to make, to create a game of 4.
Yeah, very true. I mean, Chromie has done it before, so they just have to do it again. I know it's a really forehead statement, but I mean, it is true. Chromie has done it before, so just do it again. Forehead. Yeah, I guess while we're waiting for... Actually, we gotta see how this Void Warp goes, because if Chromie gets this Void Warp, then this is looking really good for Chromie. I hope... I don't know if the angle did... Okay.
This is where Chromie has struggled, though, because they stay far up on the ramp here, and these rocks are not really great to go for. A lot more difficult to understand your positioning and roll depth while you're up on a slope like this. So definitely better to be closer to that rail across from Zelda. Now Chromie running into issues with drinking bugs here.
Yeah, I mean, you can already tell that Chromie has prepared a little bit more for this this happening, because previously Chromie didn't do.
Oh no!
Oh,
Playing
accidentally pressing
OI
the. Yeah.
with the sword.
Yeah, Chromie
And this is
Chromie
where-
previously
yeah.
never opted to drink bugs. They would just walk down the tower, but knowing the position that they're in, they are adapting and going to be drinking some bugs.
Torje not targeting Zelda and grabbing the ledge, which means they're going to have to do Void Warp. And now Chromie successfully drinking the bugs. And both racers now at the same spot. Torje trying to do an unbuffered Void Warp, but running into some issues, actually. This one looks like it might work. Sliding just a little bit too far down. It's so hard to time the unbuffer if you're sliding too far. And now getting hit by the rock, so they'll have to set it up once again. Chromie looks like they're in actually a pretty good position to hit this Void Warp if they can hold ESS right correctly. Torje right behind them.
Let's go, Chromie!
Hitting the
Getting
Void
the
Warp
Void Warp!
and pulling ahead. Torje still working on the unbuffered. Perhaps doing this unbuffered maybe being the downfall for Torje here. Spending too much time trying to do this unbuffered, not taking their time, and Chromie now in the lead, having a significant lead if they can navigate this unloaded room, which they do. Now going through, going straight, rolling straight towards Zelda and not veering off to the right as we've seen them do earlier in the tournament, which was causing them problems. Now doing that more safely and correctly. Just needs to be safe here going up this staircase and entering the collapse cutscene as we see Torje now drinking bugs and attempting Void Warp again, perhaps having some bad luck with these rocks, getting hit.
You can see Torje's facial expression also changing, forcing
Right.
himself to lock in. Really no longer fun in games. Torje with an insane angle change though on that Hess. I don't know if you saw that, but he started the Hess ESS right and then immediately
I saw
changed
that.
to left. That was insane. Doing that unbuffered, you are a madman. And now
And
finally
now
getting it. Torje definitely showing some frustration with now being able to get the unbuffered Void Warp and struggling to do it before. Very uncharacteristic from Torje on that failure there with Void Warp. I'm sure if that is mentioned to Torje in the post-game interviews at all, that didn't happen. So whatever you guys just saw, you are from a different dimension, similar to what we were talking about earlier with Nulf. I mean, I'm not sure what that is personally. I've never played this game. Meow.
All right, so after the first two races, going very decisively to Torje, with two runs, the best two runs of this tournament so far happening in these finals. A little bit of a surprise here with Chromie. Chromie now in a great position to take Game 3 here and force a Game 4 in these finals.
You know,
having a
I'd
lot of
actually
trouble with Void
argue
Warp.
I'd actually argue no surprise whatsoever. This is the resilient Chromie, the upsetter of the tournament. So
That's true.
I absolutely cannot say any surprise whatsoever. Just showing once again what they're capable of in a situation like this.
You know, interestingly, Chromie seemed to be a little bit upset after that second race, and I thought maybe that this race would be even worse, perhaps because maybe Torje was getting in their head. But really clean run from Chromie. Maybe they're just focused. Maybe they're just sort of locked in here and doing what they need to do in order to stay in these finals, stay in this tournament, and give themselves a chance to win the whole thing.
Yeah, if it's tied 2-2, the person that takes the next game will be the winner. So, yeah, that's just a game 5.
So Chromie with a very, very safe lead here. Very big lead. Just needs to play it safe here on this final phase. Just make sure they have good distance from Ganon on this ISG. Make sure they don't get too close to the fire on either side. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if going for the crouch stabs. We've seen Chromie do this consistently in the tournament, and I don't know. I just don't like it. Scares me.
Yeah, I mean, making it work, but still a scary occurrence. Going for that final jump slash there. I mean, hey, what can you say really, other than just a way to adapt
Yeah, Chromie with a race on the board. That is what you like to see.
There are not many people who can say that they've beat Torje in an Ocarina of Time race, and Chromie's done it twice in this tournament. And doing it in these finals even more impressive.
Wait, Chromie's done it twice?
Chromie, I believe, was the only person to beat Torje in the group stage.
Oh. That's incredible. I didn't even realize.
I could
Yeah,
be
massive
wrong,
GGs.
but I have a strong hunch that that is correct.
Well, considering that you're fired, you're probably wrong.
That's true. Yeah, I am fired. Can't do anything right anymore, man.
Yeah, but it seems now I am also fired because my dad dropped an F-bomb in the background. So,
Everyone's fired. We're cleaning house. We're getting a whole new staff for the next tournament. It's just what a disaster this tournament has been. Couldn't be more furious. But Torje finishing here, about a minute behind Chromie in this game 3, and yeah, we will get going on a game 3 as soon as the racers are ready to go.
game 4, yeah?
Game 4.
I have no idea what happened with my void warp there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if I even brought it up in the post-game interview, that didn't happen, right? That's what you were gonna say?
Because like it was
Didn't
acting
exist?
as if I was releasing for 2 frames, but I'm very like I know I'm not. So I don't know. There must be like some weird camera oddity that happened there. It was really strange. The stick mistake is fucking hilarious though. Like I just slammed my stick against the wall on accident and lost like 2 minutes.
Yeah, a real gamer moment. Some might call it a Gary moment. So yeah, we're ready for our 4th race here. I'm gonna count down again from 3 and on go. 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, have fun.
Good luck.
Look,
I want to point something out. That last race, Chromie bonked against the house. They did it again. This time, at the beginning of this race. Are we seeing perhaps a little bit of superstition, perhaps a little ritual? Or is Chromie channeling the OT ancestors, the spirits, the true gods of speedrunning in these finals in order to take down a legend? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, handing Joden the controller would be the best course of action, and I think that's the
Joden,
way
take
to
the
channel
wheel.
it. Yeah, it's like Jesus take the wheel, but Joden.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Joden, take the controller.
Joden, take the controller, dog. Take the controller.
But
Yeah.
yeah, similar to what we've seen in these races, you know, Torje coming out to a lead here in the beginning because of the swordless route. Chromie a little bit behind in this beginning just because of getting sword.
Just look at Torge's face cam. Torge is having a great time. I mean, you could see his face when he was going up the little slope there, making the mistake. He's like, "Yeah, what am I doing?" And then he just thumbs ups the camera. Torge having the ESS adapter struggles because it's definitely the adapter.
He's a very expressive player. Like he'll show you when he's frustrated.
No, I love it. You know, I'm kind of throwing out some inside jokes, you know, for the homies at home. So I apologize to the people that don't get it, but yeah, no, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I feel like doing like slight ESSs with an adapter is rather impossible or way too easy. So there's no in between. It's never like a smooth thing. It's always like I just ESS 4 times when I meant to do it once, or I didn't get it at all because I was breathing on the controller. So yeah, no, I mean, this is so far been a really interesting set of races from these two runners. I mean, we've really seen some crazy gameplay from Torje in the first two runs, and then a tragedy occurring, breaking the stick, and Chromiiii showing up and showing out once again. I mean, it's just like, you know, I need to get a new catchphrase, but I mean, it's just true. Yeah, single ESS turns and like flicking, like flick turning is like really weird on adapter. And I mentioned that to some friends of mine that also play this game, and they said that, yeah, dude, it's the adapter, and didn't believe me when I said that it was different and that was weird. So I get made fun of all the time for it. So I'm just projecting. The Enya squad calling out Juke. Yeah, is that Swedish Juke? Or is that Danish? Because I know that amongst the group of people around that area, Danish is the funniest language to poke at. Enya squad. Love that. I'm sorry. I know we're just kind of reading chat right now, but I mean, you guys are great. You guys are hilarious. You know, I didn't get to do it last run, and it seems like we have a little bit of a different crowd. So I'm going to go back to a point that I love talking about because I'm a little bit of a language nerd. So one interesting thing about this game that I found out recently within the last year is that the localization of this game, the way that Child Zelda writes the phrase watashi, which just means like I, like it's just referring to the self, right? And I guess so. The way she writes it as a child is with the hiragana alphabet, and the way she writes it as adult is actually with the kanji. So for people that don't understand Japanese or haven't looked into it at all, they have 3 different alphabets: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Kanji being the more like, I guess, filled letters. Like all those characters that were just on screen on Torje's side were all hiragana or katakana. There's a few occasional kanji thrown in, but you know, it's worth noting that that is a very nice attention to detail. I just have to mention that because, you know, when you're a kid, you don't really know how to read kanji or write kanji, and then when you're an adult, you know, it's expected by that point you'd have studied, you know, the ability to write and read kanji. So, very, very cool, showing that, you know, adult Zelda really is more mature.
Bro, I can't even sing the alphabet song correctly. They have 3 alphabets?
Yeah, they have 3 alphabets, and there are like over 1,000 kanji. Like it's probably like 1,000 to 2,000. I don't even know. But kanji is a alphabet borrowed from the Chinese characters. So they're pretty much the same as the Chinese characters, as far as I'm aware. I think like they don't use all of them, but yeah. Way more than 3,000? Okay, yeah, never mind. Torje would actually know, because Torje is kind of like, we kind of, anytime I have a question about Japanese, I kind of always go to Torje about it. We set up some study flashcards, so been working on it simultaneously.
You know what would be good to have for this tournament?
What would that be?
So you know how like sporting events, there's like a field reporter who they like go to for like insights about like the runners or about like the players, right? So what if we like had someone who like, you know, did a little bit of digging beforehand, and it's like I talked to Chromiiii beforehand, and you know they said this. Be like,
I feel like
for that report.
that's out of our budget, you know.
That's out of our budget. Who?
Yeah.
You're getting paid? You guys are getting paid?
Yeah, you were fired, so you don't get a pay cut.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I do think we could do a little bit more to connect with you know, runners and get a little bit about them out there, if they're not already known, and maybe a little bit of insight on their mindset of the game and how they started. That would be a really cool way to showcase, I guess, you know, the community that, you know, we all know and love for this game. So I'm totally for that. I just, I wonder how people in chat are interested to know, I guess, how that would feel. Can you explain the rumors about your bribing of the OTV official? That's great. Bro is not cooking. You hear that, Thunder?
What?
Apparently you are not cooking.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
As per
do some
chatters.
commentary.
Yeah, as per chatters, you are not cooking apparently.
Just trying to commentate this race here, this finals, this best of 5. Dare we forget the stakes? Dare we forget the context of what we are witnessing here? Oh, Torje landing right on the ledge there. Right on the end of that ledge, getting a little bit lucky. But both runners now in Decatry. Torje attacking scrubs. Chromiiii still needing to climb to the top of Decatry. Torje missing that last scrub. But Chromiiii needing to climb up the vines. We've seen him have a little bit of trouble with the Waltolas. Let's see if they have a little bit better luck here.
Yeah, for the record, I think you're cooking, Thunder. So just whatever we've got going on here in the chat is a false rumor. Thunder absolutely cooking on comms. We got the dream team duo for the commentary this time around.
I would also say the field reporter was sort of a half joke, I would say. Just a fun idea. But yes, I'm very happy to be here commentating with you. No other way I would rather have it. So
well, actually, you would
very
have it
happy.
another way because you called in Pripsy, but
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You actually see that optimization for damage there from Chromiiii getting hit by the Deku Baba to help their hearts go down faster. That is actually much better than just getting hit by scrubs a couple of times. So I commend that difference 100%.
Yeah, damage with scrubs is a little weird because as you can see, they pop in, pop out. They're very odd functioning monsters or whatever you want to call them. So
That is so rude.
Good to see Chromiiii knowing the combination 231. If you didn't know, 231 is the code.
And if you ever played MQ, it's like what 132, or is it 213? Is it 21 is number 3?
I don't remember what MQ is. I'm not really an MQ player, to be honest.
What? That's the hint on German. Rex vor links, aber die goldene Mitte kommt zuerst. Okay. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, so for those of you that aren't aware, the 23 is number 1 is a reference to Michael Jordan.
Is it actually?
Well, yeah, 23 is number 1. Michael Jordan was the number 1 basketball player at the time.
But it's okay. I mean, I feel like that's not common knowledge or like a common assumption about Zelda. Is that really true?
That is true, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's a crazy fact, honestly.
Yeah, 23 is number 1.
I didn't know that. Is this common knowledge?
Yes, this is.
Interesting.
How old are you again?
Oh, don't dox me. Too old. Too old to be doing this.
You're older than me, right? By at least a few years. You're at least 3 years older than me, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, at least.
Come on, dude. Yeah, at the time, 23 has no other connotation. Exactly. I mean, media, sports media was huge around the world, at that time, I'd say, so. And Japanese people also really like basketball for some reason.
Just to point out, Chromiiii just hit wrong warp. Chromiiii now into Ganon's tower, and Torje looking like running into some more bad luck here around these rocks, getting hit by a rock, failing insta-clip. It's going to be really interesting to see if Torje sticks with the bufferless strat for Void Warp. or if maybe they throw a few buffers in here just to maximize consistency, because this race is really important, and Torje does not want this to go as the last race went. This cutscene is quite long that Chromiiii is in right now, but Torje now having to drink bugs, so a neck and neck game 4.
Yeah, very true. I was wondering if Torje was going to do backflip OI there or ESS OI. It looks like backflip. Ooh. Okay,
This is gonna
Torje.
work.
Yeah, Torje just nailing it. Really said if I had to drink bugs, then I better get this first try.
Probably doesn't taste too good.
Feeding the games with insect protein. And I never thought about it like that. We've seen a lot of bug drinking in this tournament. No,
Oh
Chromiiii
no,
hessing
Chromiiii getting
into-
unlucky. Just barely hitting Zelda's loading trigger there. That's unfortunate. Torje now on the verge of winning this tournament.
Yeah, and Torje is doing a swordless route. So Torje actually never needs to grab the sword, never grabs it because it is actually faster to skip grabbing it. And you just get the Master Sword because one interesting fact as well is that this run wouldn't be possible if Ganon, the final Ganon, never slashed away the Master Sword, because you have to do the final blow with Master Sword. So, yeah, I mean, it is a very cool route because you can do this entire game pretty much without a sword until the very end.
Yeah, tough rock for Chromiiii here. That's not going to work.
A little bit further up the slope than I would personally go. Definitely can make it work, but I feel like it's awkward getting the Hess from like the slope. Like you would try and opt for a rock that's on the even ground. Looks like Chromiiii is opting to drink bugs. Yeah. We can't be rigging the tournament, Dan.
The only guy who didn't get fired yet, and he's publicly rigging the tournament.
What a guy.
Not a good look. Not a good look.
You know, this is the time where we can call out Dan and say, is it referred to as Dan or real-time attack Dan? I know the answer to this because I know the Dan lore. But we're just gonna have to call you out after publicly trying to rig the tournament.
Do people know what Lazutz stands for? Is that
I don't
common
know.
knowledge? It's Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time speedruns.
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time speedruns?
Yeah, Lazutz.
That makes sense.
At least I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure that's. I'm not sure he's ever like said that, but I'm not sure what else Lazutz would stand for. Chromiiii, I think, just jump slash into the void here after hitting Void Warp, which is looks like the way this tournament is going to unfortunately end for Chromiiii. But what a incredible effort from Chromiiii. What an incredible effort from Torje and everyone who raced in this tournament. This is probably a good time to just thank everyone, especially just the first person I'm thinking of is RTA Dan, who restreamed every race in this tournament, restreamed the whole thing. Honestly, like, did more work than I did on this tournament, so, you know, just huge thank you to Dan. Everyone else who, you know, participated, the commentators, the racers, and anyone who, you know, had advice and tips in the creation of this tournament, There were certainly a lot of people who I consulted and people who I talked to leading up to this, and it's been a real honor to be able to run this, to do it on OOTV. Thank you to Xwill and the OOT mods for doing an announcement in the OOT server and letting us host on OOTV. But yeah, just really grateful to have this opportunity, and as Torje gets the final slash here and concludes. I think, one thing that is important is just to recognize that this game has changed a lot. There is no running away from the fact that no matter who you are, whether you played back in 2015, 2011, whether you started in 2020, whether you're starting right now, this game has changed a lot. And, I will say this game is wonderful, and no matter the changes that happen in the speedrunning community, this is a great game. And there's always beauty in this game, and I think there's always possibility for growth in this game. Despite everything that this game has been through speedrunning wise, whether you deem it good or bad, it's hard to not love Ocarina of Time, and I have hope. I have a lot of hope for the speedrunning community in this game, and I wanted this tournament to bring people together, and if nothing else comes of this tournament, then I just hope that was accomplished. So thank you to everyone.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody that helped on this. Thunder for commentating alongside me for a large portion of this. I did a lot of commentary this time around, more than I was expecting to, but was very glad to have the opportunity to. And also to Gorilla for being a really cool commentator to commentate alongside by as well, and Dan for doing the thing, restreaming. Really appreciate it, and everybody that watched in chat. Of course, the runners giving some great showcases, and to the community that made this all possible. I mean, I met a lot of great people through this game and through this category specifically. I've met some people that have quite literally changed my life and saved me as a person. So I can't thank this game enough. Big shout outs to Baker and all the boys over there. You guys have definitely changed my life, and I couldn't, have done it without this game. So this game I definitely owe a lot to. One of my favorites of all time growing up as a kid, playing this game and then taking it into speedrunning later on. So big thank you to everybody for just watching and supporting and loving this game like we all do. I think, it just goes to show, like, this game is 26 years old now? Like, this game is older than me. And
Yeah.
people love this game to this day, and they're still playing it. I mean, it is an amazing game. So, I hope that more people are able to see that. I mean, it came out in 98, so I mean, I want more people to see this game for what it is, and that it has some insanely cool things about it, and to really just go all out and explore new things with it and try and find more crazy stuff. I mean, even though, in my opinion, I think that, we flew a little close to the sun trying to figure out how to do certain things with this game, to the point where a lot of things got homogenized. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about the growth and the exploration. So it doesn't even matter, we put our heads together for something incredible, and look at where it got us. We have an incredible community of players that are all super interested in just furthering the game. So big shout out to everybody that has worked on the game throughout the years, made these things possible, and the people that were out there, I mean, making tutorials. Like, hold on, can we talk about that for a second? Can we talk about the tutorial makers for this game? We have, like, Weather Up There's tutorial for the game route, and, like, who else made some, like, one of my buddies, Jake, Frozen QT, I used to watch some of his videos on how to do tricks to learn this game. I mean, yeah, Drunkle as well. Drunkle, yeah, like, dude, people have put in so much time. Yeah, exactly.
I think about I think about Zelly for GSR. Even Chromie had a great GSR tutorial back in the day. And yeah, I think about Drunkle's DG tutorial. I know Keegan's put out some good tutorials. I know Arthur has a lot of good tutorials. So there's a lot of really good resources for OOT. Danny even made a channel that's available in the Defeat Gan Discord for that purpose. We have both runners in here. So let's talk to Torje first, the winner. Torje, congratulations on winning the Kakariko Classic. Really, really solid races throughout this tournament. Stumbling a little bit in that game too with the Void Warp, the unbuffered Void Warp that seemed to be giving you a little trouble, but overall just playing incredibly well and winning the tournament. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. That was like you said, game 3 was was something.
Yeah.
Other than that, I feel like I played pretty well today, to be honest.
Yeah, dude, and you ended on a old PB time, right? You had a 1726 before, right? That was one of your PBs in Game Route?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you had a 1742 at some point.
1742, then 1731, I think, and then like
Yeah.
1717, I think. I think I PB'd by a lot.
Okay, I guess maybe I'm thinking of Baker with the 26 then. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, you came out and you played absolutely out of your mind with like the first 2 runs of this were just insane in the finals. It was the best runs that you had so far in the finals, which is not an easy thing to do. So yeah, I mean, also Chromie like showing some adaptation throughout the races as well. I mean, from the first time around that we saw you, I think for the most part you were walking down the tower in some situations and doing a couple of safety strats and extra things, and then over a course of time it seemed like, especially with the drinking bugs, I don't think you did that before. You just ended up walking down the tower if you took too much damage. But now, like, adapting and overcoming the hardships of stuff like that. So I just want to say that it's really awesome to see like the adaptation over the course of the tournament. So thanks for a good showing on that.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do back when GIM route was the main. I did do Void Warp for a while. I just really didn't want to do it here, but I figured once I saw everyone else doing it that I had to put in the work.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's about the best way to go about it, in my opinion. I think if other people are going to put in the kind of work, that's the competition, right? So you gotta match it or you gotta outdo it, right? So it's really good to see that. And I mean, should we I guess what should we go forward with now, Thunder? You think we should talk a little bit about the come up for both of these runners and how they got to the point where they are now with this game, or you just want to kind of
Here's what we're gonna do. You can do that. I am gonna mute and run to the bathroom really quick because I've been sitting here for a little while. You can do that, and then either Dan or you can introduce the encore of the tournament. We have we have a special little 1-match race. So I will be right back. But yeah, take it away. Take it away with Cypress.
Yeah, so I guess no offense to you, Torje, but a lot of people know you. So I'm gonna go I'm gonna start with Chromie, and then we're gonna talk about you. So Chromie, I guess can you explain to us sort of how you started with Ocarina of Time? I guess how you found it, even as a kid, and then how you ended up finding speedrunning for this game, and sort of what inspired you to get to this point where you are now.
So Ocarina of Time was the second game I ever played. My grandmother had a Wii with it on it, and I kind of just fell in love with it as a kid. It was like my favorite game to play. I would play it over and over and over again. And then when I was 11 years old, back in 2016, I saw...
Oh, God.
It hurts, I know. when I was 11 in 2016, I saw an OOT 3D run, Ben Stevens' AD run,
Oh, true.
and I saw that run. I was like, that is sick as fuck. And so I back I think this was around the time SRC was just coming around. I don't remember. That time is a little hazy for me. But I
Being
remember
deleted? Sorry.
True. I remember just going on YouTube, looking up like speedrun tutorials, and I found Zelly's MST. That was my first one. I learned MST, and then I actually switched to MM for a few years because I thought it was more fun. But then back in, I want to say it was 2019, is when I really came back and kind of like sat down and played the game a lot.
Mm.
And I don't know. This was around the time SRM was starting to be more understood. I think the first route I really put time into was the pot chest, no wrong work route. It's still my favorite.
Yeah,
It's still my favorite speedrun. It's my favorite route ever. I thought it was so good. And then
it actually was really cool. It was really cool because that was when it just like was discovered and how we were finding out how to use it.
pot chest was really cool. And then I remember coming home every day from my freshman year excited to do that. And then around the time Ace was fully figured out and we were doing that, it's kind of when I dropped off a little bit. I ran glitchless for a couple years during that. And then I did GSR, and then I kind of fell off the world a little bit here. I haven't really well, actually that's a lie. In 2022, when we did the intro skip discussion, I was kind of getting back into runs and stuff. Did a lot of no wrong warp and stuff. I actually haven't touched the game really since then. Besides maybe once every few months, I'll like do a once-off run. I've actually been playing a lot of TP lately.
Ooh, some TP. That's a good way to segue into Torje. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. I have to mention that, like, it's always interesting to see how people start with this game. I mean, I think you're even younger than me, and it looks like you started even before I did. So, I mean, I think even like Lawsuits started really young as well with this game.
I earned the name Boomer Zoomer.
Boomer Zoomer. That is pretty funny. So I guess now we can segue to Torje. I guess, you know, what got you into this game, and like, even like I said earlier for Chromiiii, like, regardless of when you were a kid, when did you first start playing it, and how did you start getting into speedrunning this game?
I guess the first time I touched OT, technically it was the first video game I touched overall. I was like 4 years old, and I went through all the games on my neighbor's N64. And I remember vividly booting up my neighbor's like OT file. They were in Forest Temple, wearing the Goron tunic, and I just walked forward and got scared by the Wolfos and turned the game off, and then I played Pokemon Stadium.
Dude, that actually had something similar happen, dude. I was literally the same age. I was 4, and I beat the child dungeons, and the redeads, like after you become adult, I couldn't walk through Hyrule Castletown. I had to have my older brother do it.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Anyway.
The first Zelda game I actually played was when I got my Wii in like 2007, I think. I played Twilight Princess. And I loved Twilight Princess. And then like 2014, like late 2014, early 2015, I played through it casually a couple times and used like the in-game timer to see how fast I could beat it. So I started like naturally speedrunning by myself before I knew it was a thing. And then I looked up if anyone had done it faster, and of course they had, several hours faster. And that's how I started watching speedruns. And then through watching TP, I started getting into like the general 3D Zelda community, and I started watching Joden a lot, playing MST. I was like, this is so much cooler than TP, and then I never played TP again. I started running OT.
In a way, that's a feels bad, man, but I mean, look at what we got out of it, right? Like, look at what you got out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I played TP longer than, like, I played TP for a few months, and like a third of the time playing OT, I got so much better at OT than I ever was at TP. So I don't think I would have been.
TP's really hard, to be fair.
It is really hard, yeah.
No, you could absolutely. I think you could. It's just it's a lot of endurance.
Yeah, for sure. I don't have that. I played the shortest OT category of all time. Well, not anymore, but I did play the shortest category at the time. So.
I mean, just seeing how you pick up things, like, I mean, Japanese is one of the things I've seen you pick up recently. and just your ability to really just zone in on something and hyperfixate until you get to a point where you feel like, okay, now I have a routine going and I know what to do from here, is not a trait that everybody comes to naturally. You have this innate ability to just find something you want to do and go for it. I mean, you did it with Apex, and that was really impressive to see. So I mean, just like overall, I mean, like this is a little bit of a off-topic thing about me, but you were my inspiration to start this game, and I've mentioned this to you before, but it is so awesome to just have somebody like you around that is just so zeroed in, so focused to push the game to its limits, and yourself, not even just yourself, but to push the game with that 1658 run. And even though you still could have done better with that run, you went for it. You know what I mean? You did the thing, and you know that was it for you, because at the time that's what you felt like was necessary. So I mean, it's awesome to see stuff like that, and to know that it inspired many people, and myself being one of them. I mean, it's you know, it's a beautiful game. So I guess what inspired you to do this route though for Ocarina of Time?
Like swordless now, or do you mean like any percent?
No, I just mean like any percent, yeah.
So it's actually kind of funny because at the time, Gim had just been found when I started running TP. So I never actually ran a Kakariko route when it was optimal. But I remember I watched Joden play MST, and I learned MST to start. And the start of MST at the time was you escaped and got Fairy Ocarina, and then you went to Kakariko, got Bottle, and then you wrong warped to Ganon's castle, and you save warped there to get Choose from Spirit Trial. But what I did was like, I'm not patient enough to learn all of this route. I'm just gonna do some 80% runs for fun because I just learned wrong warp. And then that kind of snowballed, I guess. I just kept doing 80% runs, and then I got pretty fast at that.
Yeah, pretty fast, yeah.
Pretty fast is an understatement.
I mean, what was the second place time at the time? Was it like 1707? Wait, Skater had it at 1707, right?
When I started, or do you mean
like when you had the 58?
The 68, 1707 was second place, yeah, with Skater.
I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, it's almost to the point with sort of like the low zoots or like the TKC thing, I feel, where it's like that run almost killed the category for some people. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of vibe that it gives off. So
yeah,
I mean, dude, I mean, even accomplishing that feat itself is more than most people could ever say. Just like doing something so well to the point where other people don't even have the motivation to even compete with that. I mean, it's almost like Max Verstappen, right? It's kind of like that, where you just are so dominant that it feels like there's no way to even come close. So, but I mean, you still inspired many people. So I think that's awesome. So thank you guys so much for participating. Thank you for putting on a great show, and thank you guys for both sharing your stories on the come up. So
I thank you guys for organizing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course. It was amazing. This was fun.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun commentating and you know, hanging out with some friends with, you know, where it all started. So MST Torje and Peak, so true.
I don't know.
No, I watched you do Hundo, dude. That was
Oh, I forgot about that.
Well, it's not
The Hundo craze.
I was so bad.
Oh,
My playtime
man.
doesn't work for longer categories.
Yeah, you kind of have like an all-in play style.
I feel the opposite way. I'm so much better at the longer categories than I ever am the short ones.
Yeah, I just can't prioritize consistency in my head. I needed to slam the gas. Like I can't start like buffering stuff. I just feel too terrible about it.
40
like,
resets are bust. I get it.
Yeah, I could just reset 40 times and do this unbuffered. It's fine.
Yeah,
I mean
you'll get it
that's why you're Max Verstappen of Ocarina of Time 90%. So
Yeah.
All right. I think we will go to a quick intermission and then proceed to our encore match.
yeah, true.
Am I getting a Thug Finals, or are you in like Dan Racing or something?
As organizer race.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's our encore. That's our special event. Dan and Thunder are going to do a special encore race. So the fun isn't over yet. Please stick around to enjoy this. Dan and Thunder are both incredible runners as well. So it would be awesome to see how this final race goes. So yeah.
All right,
Good luck.
you guys have fun.
Alrighty, hello, hello, hello. We are back with our encore race, Thunder versus RTA Dan. Organizer race here. As you can see, Thunder has 2 runs over Dan already.
I'm just gaming, dude. I'm out here gaming.
We
What can I
know he's
say?
a good runner, but that fast, holy moly.
It's just the timer apparently. So, yeah. All right. So we are we're gonna count down from 3 and on. Go. You guys can start. Of course, you guys already know. Blah blah blah. The whole doodah. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off.
Good luck.
Lovely, lovely.
Well, we
Redo.
were off. Do a little
This
rewind
file,
in here.
this file isn't ready. My
Tell
bad.
Thunder to reset. Tell him to reset.
Oh
you
yeah,
see.
he doesn't know he's muted, right?
Yeah, he definitely. Well, Dan loading a yeah. Dan loading the wrong save. Gonna have to message Thunder. Tell him to reset.
I think he sees that Dan is on the
There we go.
title screen there.
Wait, what's my race? Is this my race file?
Yeah, it is.
Yo.
You have no rupees.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so referred to as Daniel loaded the wrong save.
No worries.
Yeah, so we're gonna restart. That's why Thunder's already 2 up.
Okay, there we go.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, have fun.
GL.
Alright.
And we are off for the second time here. Looking good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. So Dan is going to be going for the swordless route.
Mm-hmm. If he can collect this rupee. Alright, we're chilling.
Yeah, the timer is kind of weird there. Sometimes like you can be really slow on it but still get it.
Yeah. You know, out of anybody that plays Ocarina of Time, I think Dan is the person that loves races the most. Like, if any of you have ever hung out with
This is
Dan,
true.
yeah, if any of you have ever hung out with Dan, then you know Dan always asks for races. Like, at any given time, Dan loves races. So we'll see if Dan is gonna do what he normally does in races and play really consistently and just nail everything. Because I mean, Dan has a lot of experience with races, so he's actually really good at them. And I mean, he's just really good at the game in general. But he does play like sort of like the opposite play style of like a Torje archetype, for example, where he doesn't go all in for a lot of things. He just is really, really good at doing everything like fast enough to where it's still really good, and he does it really consistently, which is a
Yeah,
awesome
consistency
trait.
is definitely key.
Yeah, I mean, you could see even already Dan going for a very consistent strat for the lineup for the camera for the Aquascape. So I mean, it just goes to show you again that this isn't just me saying stuff. Dan really is the consistency god when it comes to this category. He just plays to finish, and that is an incredible trait to have.
Thunder looks to be going for the half yellow here. One frame too early, I believe, though.
There we go. This time around, he's getting it. Yeah, true. Retro. If I'm not mistaken, you used to race Dan in SM64, right? Like a really long time ago? Race on OT, okay. Yeah, I never met you personally, but I've heard a lot about you from Baker and Dan. So Thunder getting the lineup here for the red rupee. Nicely done. You love to see it. Could have just done the sword dive, like he's doing right here for the West. Thunder just going for the YOLO strats, though. Showing how it's done. Jump slashing into Sora's River, though. Showing you how
Yeah, a
that
little
is
bit
done as
scary.
well. Yeah, pretty sure.
Does get its second try though. I think that should be good for the day cycle.
A little scary time of day,
Yeah,
but
definitely a little
should
bit
still
scary
make
though.
it. Really good targets for the angle change there, so. You know, I really wish that we could show, like, like a lot of the Dan compilations.
Oh, I
of
have seen some of
him.
those.
Yeah, I really wish we could show it on this channel, but we can't because Dan is a bad boy when it comes to language.
The one going into Shadow Temple is the classic.
The second scene. Gosh. I mean, no, it is awesome, dude. Like, I know. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, sometimes OT can bring that out in you.
Yeah, I mean, this game can be frustrating to play at times, and you know, I'm not making fun of Dan, but it is like the classic. Like Dan is
It
like
is, yeah.
Dan is the rage guy in this game, and it's awesome. I mean, some people don't like that stuff. I find it hilarious, and Dan can also look at it nowadays and laugh at it. So, I mean,
Yeah, it's good to see some emotion. Shows they care.
yeah,
I
exactly. I
personally am a
mean,
fan.
one of the soundboards in the Discord server that Dan and I are both in is the second scene clip from Dan. So
That's a good one.
anytime somebody rages, it's a good time to pull out the second scene. It's also the clip of Dan going into or he's playing like Wind Waker and he like he like fails a boss.
I didn't know
He's-
Dan played Wind Waker. Was it a speedrun?
Yeah, Dan used to speedrun Wind Waker. He's pretty good at it.
I remember like a year or two ago, I was learning that any percent no manual super swim. I don't know, the zombie hover mashing, it hurt my hands too much. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, that stuff hurts. Wait, is that actually true, Retro? Is that actually true? Like in the speedrun community for that game, there's like there's a room called the ZG room. Dan going for Mido Skip right here. Dan is a consistency god when it comes to Mido Skip. I was trying to learn this trick the other day, and he was laughing at my inability to do it because he couldn't figure it out. He couldn't figure out why I was doing it wrong. Neither of us could figure it out. But Dan actually not managing to get it on his first go around, which is fine. You know, not getting it your first time around. Thunder is going to catch up, but they're going to kind of be equalized here by the time that Dan goes for it the second time. But Thunder obviously not having to do any tricky movement for it. Ooh, not... I think... Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why he couldn't do that. It's in the first dungeon. That's awesome. And Dan losing a little bit of time to Mido Skip here. I believe Dan didn't really want to do Swordless because of
Yeah,
this
Lily
trick
was doing
being...
that first.
But, I mean, Dan going all in... That's the frame for the jump slash. Just needs to pull out the stick. One more frame. Pause buffers, please. Pause buffers, please.
Thought
There we
getting
go.
the super boost there. Always good to see that one. It feels so satisfying to get the max boost.
And that's
Just
the
one of those
frame.
things.
There we go.
Nicely done by Dan there too.
Hmm
You got a really close race here, especially considering that Dan, I think, is going to go for Goma Clip, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't. The Thunder. I mean, surely Thunder's going for Dome Clip too, right?
I'm not too sure.
But I don't think Thunder's going to do ISGB 1. So there's some time save for Dan. Cat
The cat
distracted me.
distraction.
Screw you, Pinky. It's all Pinky's fault. The
Pinky
camera
reference,
not
I'm
being
sure if I'm familiar
cut.
with that one.
Pinky is Dan's cat name. Cat's
Oh,
name.
gotcha.
Yeah, there's a clip. There's actually a really funny clip of Dan playing a game called Cats Stacked Neatly or something like that. And in the game, there's a cat, like the cats are meowing, and Dan's cat's also meowing. And he's like, "Shut up, cat." It's so funny. Ooh, Thunder having a little bit of a sketchy
Yeah, that was close.
Waltula, yeah. Dan also having a sketchy Waltula. The Swedish sniper on the wall there. Armada himself on the wall.
Looks like Thunder's going to be using the skull here to damage down.
5-head?
Is that the strat?
You know, I don't actually know. Because I think it's just faster to take damage from the Deku Babas, but... Dan getting the right angle. Getting the jump slash. Dan... Ooh, not getting the jump slash. Dan normally doesn't fail that, so... Dan's gonna
I
get
like the
the
pause
lineup
buffer
here.
there, but Thunder not quite working though. I think the lineup must have been off.
Dan getting the pause buffer. Bam! Climbing right up there. Dan doesn't need to burn the web unless he's doing double KO, so... Going straight down. I wonder how Dan's gonna do scrubs here. Looking like just a good old target scrub moment. No backflip for the swagger. No big deal, though. I wonder how Thunder's going to take this additional damage just from the Deku Scrub.
Yeah, playing it safe. The taking the hit on Goma is a little bit scary. It is fast though.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, the best way to do it is, in my opinion, just run into Goma, and then you can roll
Yeah.
away. Never backflip
Really
away
close
from
race,
Goma,
though.
though.
You got a really, really close one here.
Mm-hmm. You know, I never understood why they went for a division symbol for her eye.
It is weird, right?
Yeah. Dan showing his consistent strat for Goma Clip here. This always works for Dan. One more frame and he is through. And we're through.
Thunder going for the double KO here. Nicely done.
Yeah, this is where Dan is going to take over Thunder. Although Goma is dying at essentially the same time, Thunder is going to have to do B1 skip and then burn... Or no, did he already burn the whip? I think he did, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dan will be ahead.
Assuming both runners get wrong warp here, it is going to come down to insta clip or void warp. Pretty much.
True. Well, actually, no. The run actually comes down to who gets the kiss.
That's true. Gotta make that run valid.
Dropping the bugs.
Another nice one, sir. Maybe a slight commentator's curse on the wrong word.
Dan... Muscle memory made you do Sword Eye. Well, you still have time to reset and go again.
Did Dan do a safety save?
You know, I don't think he did.
I think this looks good on Thunder's side.
Yep.
I believe this should work. Nicely done. Yeah, unfortunate for Dan there.
That's definitely, it feels bad, man. Well, since the text is on screen for Dan, I guess I'm gonna nerd out once again and show my absolute expertise in the Japanese language, Kappa. You know, it's interesting to think about it from like the different perspective of languages, but the text that it says on screen right now for Dan is Yoku yatte kureta arigato, and then it says the name of the character. So we're just gonna say Link. His character is she there. It's just a little smiley face. But and you know, it just says, you know, thank you, Link. You've done it. Thank you.
You did it.
Thank goodness. You know, this game actually probably has one of the best translations I've seen in games. The translations
so?
are actually really good, yeah. Or at least like unique enough to where it doesn't feel like they're saying the wrong thing in English. Thunder getting the pause.
Still gets it though, very nice.
Ooh, dropping the ESS. Not what you want to see, but still can go for Void Warp. I mean, unfortunately, Dan couldn't save, so this run is looking like Thunder's favor regardless, but... Or it is Thunder's race, 100%, but we'll see how Thunder manages to finish this run out. Will he go for unbuffered? No.
I don't think so.
Pause buffering the untarget and retarget. You know, I always wonder why people do that, because
Nice.
you can literally untarget and retarget in unpause lag. You don't need to buffer the untarget retarget at all.
It's true.
You can just do it in unpause. Some people just really play for the safety of it, and it isn't a bad thing to do. I will say it is not a bad thing to do, but it is a little pointless because you do have the unpause to untarget retarget.
See if he can get the kiss here. The moment of truth.
Yeah, no kiss equals forfeit, so and he gets the
Ooh, it looks
kiss.
pretty good. He gets it with the C up, saving that additional frame. Love to
Yeah,
see
he
it.
didn't throw the nut for the flashbang though, so
True. Not all the style points.
Procking the ghost. I don't even know what that is actually. It's probably not even ghost. Looks like Kool-Aid in a water bottle. Yeah, that's godlike though. Kool-Aid in a water bottle. Does anybody else have this problem too? Like, whenever I drink Kool-Aid, that stuff is just super tangy. You know what I mean?
It has been a minute since I've had Kool-Aid, but I used to like the cherry one.
Yeah, I like the blue one and the red one. Really unique colors, I know.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, 6 and asks, can we get an Ayaya comps?
Ayaya.
Hopefully that would suffice there.
I mean, you must have missed me saying Yokuyate Kureta earlier, so. Arigato.
We got all the Ayayas in chat. Love to see it.
You know, a good exercise I've been doing while watching people play this game throughout the tournament is try and read the text. Because the game is in Japanese, and Japanese is a language I'm learning. So it is always fun to read the text on screen to see, I guess, how much of an anime this game really sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool challenge. I wish I could read Japanese just for the anime watching.
I mean, you can read that right there, can't you? It just says Ganon. It's easy.
Hopefully.
It does. It does. It literally says like Ganon. Those are the 3 characters. Ganon. Ganon. Easy.
Right, Thunder nailing the ISG here first try.
Ooh.
Missing
Okay.
the backward but not getting hit. It's always scary when you miss that. Gets the blood flowing.
Dropping the
There's our style points.
snapback on C-Stick is magnificent.
It truly is.
Or Thunder just has some grippers.
The bug catch too, let's go.
Why is he doing? You have the Master Sword.
I think he lost ISG there.
Yeah, but he has the Master Sword. He didn't pull out a stick.
Alrighty, Thunder just about to take this one here. Nice solid sub 20.
You're 37. I'm calling it. I'm absolutely incorrect.
GG's.
GG's.
I only know that it's like 7 seconds once the camera like turns to go to Link there. I can only tell when it gets like close to the end.
I'm so stupid.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate.
Alright, I'm
Good
back.
race.
I just can't. I forgot
Yeah,
my Y
GG's.
inputs,
He forgore.
so I just
Yeah, GG's to the
I didn't press
to
stick at
the.
all. Or like I pressed B instead of stick, so I didn't do Y.
Yeah, it
Feels
wasn't meant to
Batman.
be.
Whatever. GG Thunder.
Well,
Yo, GG's Dan. We'll have to race more. That sucks about wrong warp. Like there's I don't know.
I mean,
You definitely.
I was
you
asking
definitely had me
before you guys peer pressure me into running sortless.
I didn't say anything. I would have said.
I will take the blame because that was me. So
Anyway,
Yeah.
that concludes.
anyway,
there. All right, GG's. Thank you all for
2024.
sticking around.
wait, guys, we got to
That's
do
the
our
end of the
ZFG
tournament.
impression. We got to do our ZFG impression.
No, dude.
Anyway,
Anyway,
thanks for
Anyway.
watching the tournament, guys.
yeah,
I'll
is-
see you maybe never.
definitely not gonna have a
Goodbye.
house tournament.